Hey, I'm Dukes on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back tonight with a take on a budget build of green-white turbo depths. This is the deck that I'll most likely be playing with Crucible of Words next Sunday evening. Actually this time, next week. A YouTuber with some really good legacy content, especially around depths. So if you want to check them out, definitely look up Crucible of Words on YouTube and also Patreon. And I believe they're also on Twitter. This build is pretty similar to most builds. The big card that comes out is Blooming Marsh, which is kind of the big take on the budget build. Obviously a deck without any dual lands or fetches is always really nice. And Blooming Marsh also has some pretty small upsides, like playing around Submerge, which has seen a lot of play recently thanks to cards like Up the Beanstalk. Up the Beanstalk? Yeah. So pretty keen to play with Blooming Marsh. And then honestly, the rest of it is pretty simple. We have the Pithing Needles and the Knot of this World to protect both Marit Lage and also Dark Depths. I went with a 4-3 split instead of a 3-4 split just because of Wasteland and wanting to have more likelihood of having Needle in the opening hand. We then have the 8 ways to fetch through Sylvan Scrying and also Crop Rotation. Because the deck is playing Sylvan Scrying, which puts a land to your hand, we're also playing Boseiju, because this is a great way to deal with things like Ensnaring Bridge, Chalice for one potentially, Blood Moon of course, and just really nice to have in the deck. We also have for the Crop Rotation package a Bojuka Bog, Karakas, a Sejiri Steppe, and a Ghost Quarter. And the Ghost Quarter is not a budget factor, although it is on the budget side compared to Wasteland, but Ghost Quarter is really nice in this deck because usually with Needle, you're naming Wasteland. So the reason to run the Ghost Quarter is you still have that effect through Needle on Wasteland. So if you want to take out an opposing Karakas or an opposing Maze of Ith, you still have a way to do that, which is nice. Hey Mining Man, welcome. We also have 2 Veils, which I'm trying out. This is just over 2 more Inquisitions. I do see Duress as well. I'm just a big fan of Inquisition because it takes DRC and other smaller threats, but there are some cards where you probably rather Duress. Obviously the One Ring, sometimes taking a Force is what you want to take. Sometimes something like Submerge, but it won't come up too often here. So yeah, we're going to see how these Veils go. Potentially see when we have them in hand and when we wish they were discard, or when they actually do really well. We have 8 ways to get some free mana, which is great. Petals and Elvish Spirit Guides. Also running is kind of a separate way to win as kind of a plan B in Invasion of Ikoria, which typically in this deck, X equals 2 to go and fetch Vampire Hexmage. Your opponent gets the invasion. You can then Hexmage the invasion to take all counters off it, which then flips into Zilortha, which comes obviously under our control, and then is just another really good way to fight against potentially a Wasteland deck that has Wasteland out already and you don't have something like Needle. So having this against a Delver when they're kind of on the Wasteland plan to keep you off things is really nice, because typically they won't use Wasteland aggressively on you, hitting your mana, if they don't have another way to deal with Dark Depths. So typically you can just get to 4 mana, which is quite nice, and get this out. It's also a really nice way to green suns potentially in the board for things like Collector Oof or Sylvan Safekeeper if needed. But I do really like it as just an 8/8, which also means that yeah, it's out of a lot of things. Even something like Unholy Heat can't really deal with it. It does still run into Karakas. I found it really hard to try to find a unique plan B that doesn't run into Karakas. And Witherbloom Apprentice with Chain of Smog was definitely interesting, but then it's kind of the removal aspect that it runs into. So Sword Splash is obviously still very good against that as well. but we'll see how that goes. What I've been having a really tough time against online is Magus of the Moon, because I think that we have ample ways to deal with Blood Moon, but Magus can be really annoying. So having up to 3 dismembers, I did just have the 2, but I think 3 is really good. And then also having access to Force of Vigor as well. I did have an Abrupt Decay for a little bit, but I felt like it just wasn't as powerful as some of these other spells, which are just a little bit more versatile. And then Bitter Blossom. So I did actually have the land Kali Gardens, I think it's called. Yeah, so I actually had this card in the sideboard. And you might go, hey, why are you playing a land that gives you a 0/1 green plant token? It doesn't do a whole lot, but I wanted it in here as a way to deal with Sheoldred's Edict, when your opponent can choose for you to sacrifice a token creature. But I thought that maybe that was just a little bit too cute. I did also think of Saga, but I think Saga takes a little bit more to go online, and can potentially run into things like Null Rod if opponents bring that in. So I do like Bitter Blossom as a way to create tokens, potentially create a winning amount of tokens, or also just keep some opponents from attacking in the early games to keep some of the pressure off. So we'll see how Bitter Blossom goes. Could be pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming and watching. Hopefully this goes all G, having some small issues with upload speeds recently, but we'll see how that goes. Legacy League, play points, Turbo Depths. And also, although it is budget, I think it's still around 600, but we'll see how this version goes. The Force of Vigors, the Lotus Petals are really hard to drop, which are obviously quite expensive cards. And then some other small ones. Yeah, Blossom's kind of cool. I think that most opponents would take out something like Orcish Bowmaster against us. Plague Engineer, not that great either, so I assume they're out, but you never know. Sometimes Plagues out of, say, Abzan Depths or Maverick are really good because you can name Sylvan Safekeeper, which generally is one of the big creatures that deals with you, so we'll see how that fares. Yeah, ending as well has been off. I really hope it doesn't come up against Goyf, where Goyf gets in a bit of extra damage against us, and obviously Tribal playing a part, which doesn't typically see play. I guess this deck also has Not of This World, which you do have to remember, this is a Tribal instant. So this will actually grow Goyf twice, which, yeah, doesn't come up too often with spells. So that is something to take consideration of. But hey, hope you're all doing well. It's been nice to get back into streaming. I think Rainbow Depths is definitely still a thing. Obviously, Tom hasn't been playing too much, but yeah, I would say it's probably better than this. So this is a pretty sweet hand, because what we have is turn 1 Inquisition, see if the road is clear. We then have double Spirit Guide for Sylvan Scrying for Dark Depths. To turn 2, go Hexmage off Urborg and Dark Depths. So I'm pretty happy to keep this. This is a turn 3 win with Inquisition and some sort of interaction with Ghost Quarter. Okay. Most likely initiative here. Fable. Okay. Maybe just mono red, which isn't too bad either, especially if we can take out a... Oh, that's interesting. Does that change things? Probably not. I think we're still going to stick with the plan of Urborg into Inquisition. And then potentially we also have the line of Urborg into Inquisition, potentially make them go for a Blood Moon effect, and then next turn play the Dark Depths without counters, use 1 Spirit Guide to cast Sylvan Scrying, get Boseiju, and then still have the green mana to activate Boseiju on the Dark Depths, which is pretty sweet. So we'll start off with Inquisition. Magus, a big take here. Okay, 4th is also pretty good. But the question is, do we care about this enough? I kind of just want to take the swords, because obviously that's a great way for them to win here. But we do have, yeah, I was going to say we do have Elvish Spirit Guide for Sejiri Steppe, but I don't think that's great because of Blood Moon effects potentially. I think Crop Rotation probably is our best draw, because next turn we just get to go Hexmage into Dark Depths, and then with the Spirit Guide potentially holding up Crop Rotation for Sejiri Steppe would be pretty great. They get rid of the city and the Chrome Mox. Okay. Hey Snappy, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Take the 2. Interesting, another tomb. 4 mana, 5 mana. Dungeoneer, okay. This definitely speeds things up. Hey Mining Man, big thank you for the Prime sub. Too kind. 22 months is very cool. Thank you. Okay, so they still have the 4th, and they have a Plains and 1 more card. Crop Rotation? Oh, there it is. Look at that. That's exactly what we talked about. I don't think we have to worry about Wasteland here. Potentially a Karakas, which we do have the Ghost Quarter for, which is nice. But Swords to Plowshares is covered by the Crop Rotation. Okay, they play the Plains. Okay. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That's fine, because we can still cast Crop Rotation this turn. Non-basic lands enter your opponent's control under battlefield tapped. That's fine as well. Yeah, like if they play Karakas here, it's a little bit tough, but otherwise pretty good. We also have the Scrying to give protection. Interesting. Oh, they did play the Plains, correct. Yes. They hit a Petal. Okay. So we get to block the Goblin here for free, thanks to First Strike. Take the 4. This is a really cool card. I know that Mark's playing around with this in Maverick, and I think it's doing pretty well for him, which was great to see. Nice. We're back. Nice. So here we can just go exile this, Scrying, Sejiri Steppe, trigger. Nice. There we go. Hey Pigeon, welcome. So here we want the forces, the oofs, the dismembers. I think just because of Archon, that's the big one. We do care about things like Swords of Plowshares, as Sarah said, Touch of Spirit Realm, Solitude potentially. Needle, not so much, but I don't mind having one in the deck. The Veils are an easy cut as well. Bojuka Bog is an easy cut. Pretty happy with 23 lands. Could even potentially cut an Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Karakas as well. Maybe 22 lands as well. Let's actually test out 22. That's probably it. Safekeeper is definitely interesting as well, because it's just another creature that goes onto the board. Like, is that better than, say, Inquisition? I think Inquisition can probably come out here, and I'll bring in the 2 Safekeepers. It's just like extra ways to protect. This is still a bit of a race, though, in my opinion, this sort of matchup. Like a turn 1 Seasoned Dungeoneer or Caves is pretty solid. So here we have one piece of the combo. We do have Spirit Guide to potentially crop that into a land, but I don't think that's good. We have Protection, but I think his hand is just a little bit too wobbly. Okay, we have one piece of the combo. We do have mana on board, which is nice. We also have Force and Dismember. I think I'm pretty happy to keep this. It is tough. I'd much rather have Dark Depths as the combo piece, of course, because then both Stage and Hexmage are there. But yeah, having the Force is pretty big. Hey Joe, welcome. Let's keep this. Probably the Safekeeper. But yeah, I think it's a safe. Yeah, I really want the green source, and I think Oof or Force is great depending on how they start. So that's actually an interesting one. They go Charles for 1 turn 1. I definitely want the. Okay, so I think we're definitely keeping these 5. That's just it. And then it's probably between Collector Oof and Safekeeper. Honestly, it might be Oof we drop, because I think Protection is just so strong. And if we do have something like Dismember on their creature and then Dismember, that's pretty good. If they play a Chromox here, I will hit it. Oh, they have a Spirit Guide. Okay, there's Caves. All right. This I'm probably happy to Dismember. And I think I'll do it, depending on our draw, we'll see how we go. I typically like leading on Urborg because it just allows for 2 draws to be Hexmage Dark Depths or Hexmage Dark Depths. Okay, that's protection for us, which is great. So now I'm more happy to throw away this Safekeeper. I don't want to really allow them to be able to tap this for black, so I'm probably happy just going with Stage here and then Dismember their creature. I could also wait for them to Forge. I'm actually okay with that. Just they're probably thinking we have to win ASAP, so I think going for Forge here, nice. I also don't want a 6, just in case Interesting, nothing. Okay. There's the depths. This is a little bit tough because what we have here is just Urborg into depths into combo, or land into Safekeeper, take the... No, I think I just like going for probably depths, right? Actually, probably Urborg first, in case they play a Blood Moon effect next turn. Obviously, just hopefully not Magus. Okay. Now they have 4 mana. Fourth. Okay. Sure. Honestly, our next draw, if it's Elvish Spirit Guide or Lotus Petal, that's fantastic. Because then we also have Safekeeper online if needed. A free mana here is so broken. Okay. Still pretty good. I don't worry about... I think we're happy just to hold up the combo here. There's no reason to play it out just yet. Cavern, sure. Elemental, sure. They attack. I'm pretty happy to allow this to go. I don't think blocking 2 here does anything too relevant. I assume Solitude if they named Elemental. So now they have to have Solitude plus white card. Wow, nice. Pretty cool to get the Dark Depths there as well, to try to, like, potentially, if they have another gain 20, we're taking 2, 4, 7 each turn, which is a 4-turn clock. I guess plus whatever they get from this, probably a cave, so always nice to beat Initiative. But in saying that, they didn't hit Magus, which I think Magus is probably their best card. Nice to see, just remember though, when I was running 2, I didn't see it too often, so seeing it twice there is quite nice. Obviously with the Urborg as well, and having to pay life can be pretty good. Haha, very true. Very true, Joe. Alright, on the draw, what do we have here? We do have the combo, so we do have Scrying, turn 2. So we have turn 1 hold up Veil, turn 2 Scrying, turn 3 play Depths, turn 4 go off. I think that's just a little bit too slow, so I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. Okay, so here we have both pieces of the combo, but not the pieces we really want. We do have interaction with Wasteland, which is nice. We have a lot of colors online. We also have like double green in case we wanted. The thing is that I really like to, with Turbo, I like to have hands where there's just a clear line to the combo, and this doesn't have it, so pretty happy to mull. This does have a clear line in double crop. It also has double petal to get there quicker. We also have protection, but it's obviously a lot to throw away as well. Hexmage does have first strike. So if this is a 5, like what I like to say with Turbo Depths is that you need 3. You need Urborg, Dark Depths, Hexmage, and anything on top is delicious. So if you go to 4, you could still find those 3, and then something like Needle or Duress, Thoughtseize, or Inquisition. I'm happy to go to 4. Not there, but we will keep, and I'll bottom 1, 2, 3. There is a world where Petal and Crop for Bog can get there, but if that's not this sort of matchup, then that's fine. Yeah, I think we're happy to concede here, knowing that they're on Death Shadow and sideboarding for that. So with Shadow, we don't necessarily care about targeting. There is Brazen Borrower Bounce, but that's about it. We do like the Bitter Blossoms. I don't worry about the reanimation package. Potentially Dismember, but not too much. We don't care about Karakas. They probably keep, because they didn't see us, they probably keep the Bowmasters in. That's fine. I don't mind one of each. Even just to have it for Ikoria is pretty good. Okay, I don't mind keeping this. We have a turn 1 Bitter Blossom, so I'm also probably happier to use the Spirit Guide because the Petal could potentially give us access to black mana. Nice. Happy to cast this. And pass. Would love to see our Thoughtseize. Okay. We also just have Hexmage off the top as well with this hand, which is nice. With the Petal. They chose to not shuffle there. Okay. Honestly, here we could play out the depths because it just allows us to draw naturally into stage, and I think that's worth. Like, if they want to spend their turn wastelanding us, that's fine as well. But I won't 6 here just because of cards like Crop Rotation. Chose to shuffle. Okay, that's pretty good for us. Okay. I will play this out just because of Thoughtseize. Play the Marsh here. Attack for 1. So we attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 14, 2 to 12, 3 to 9, 4 to 5, and then 5 to 0. So we have a 5-turn clock. But obviously Death Shadow here is a little bit tough. It does change things a bit. But honestly, now the Bitter Blossom just buys us time. Okay, that's pretty good as well. I'm happy to do that in upkeep. Just to play around Wasteland. Obviously, we can't play around Brazen Borrower here, but that's fine. They went straight to attacks, which is really interesting. Allowing us to untap and draw into something like Crop Rotation here. Let's try it. Wow. Blue? Nice. Dress down. Oh, that's fine because we can Boseiju it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is cool. I don't even need to pay extra for it because it's legendary still. Nice. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so now they know what we're on, which is a little bit tricky, but Dress Down's really interesting. Force of Vigor obviously is not an answer to Dress Down because you want to force in your turn. Dismembers. So Dismember for me is buying time. We don't really have to worry about things like Brazen Borrower. Like they can potentially block with it, but I think we just have better ways to focus. And I think that Dismember and Bitter Blossom play a very similar role. Bitter Blossom, obviously just blocking Death Shadow each turn is great. But Dismember does deal with Troll a little bit better if they play the Troll version. I don't mind Dismember. If they're, yeah, especially if they're bringing in Plague Engineer, I would assume. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I mean, we have a turn 1 Veil. The mana's a little bit tricky, but I think just like there's so many good top decks here that allow us to get there that I'm happy to keep this. We can also lead on a Dark Depths just to see if they want to Wasteland it. Land here also allows us to play Thoughtseize. Honestly, this is probably where I'm at right now. Just passing like this. I don't think it's worth trying to throw out the Bitter Blossom just yet. End-step Brainstorm is always funny because we haven't really done too much for them to change why they kept the opening hand. So I don't mind a Brainstorm like this because they're just going to probably draw into the card again unless they troll in upkeep. Okay. And this is exactly where we want to be. So pretty happy with this. I was going to say there's one card here that I'm a little bit worried about, and that's Surgical on Dark Depths. But then we do have Hexmage into Ikoria for the win. The question here is do we just want a Veil to draw an extra card? I don't think so. I think I'm happy to try to hit a land. No, we will get to play this again and then just pass back. There's Troll. There's Thoughtseize. Here's Veil. Force. Okay. Well, there goes a Force at least. There was also a line for Petal Spirit Guide into Scrying for Urborg. That would have been pretty interesting. Because, yeah, now we're in a situation where it's a little bit more tough. They did cycle the Troll. My only thought here is it worth Thoughtseizing them to potentially take a Reanimate? I don't think so. I think I'd rather have this, this land. Troll's still a fair amount way away. Ah, Murktide's a card I didn't consider. But that's fine. Okay. That's a good start. Force is fine. Still have a lot of good draws at the top. They're down to one card. Did they just play the Shadow, but get it killed? Why do they do that? Is there a reason for that? Maybe this hand was just a little bit stifled. I guess you could reanimate into it, but you also have like reanimate into Troll, which is just a lot quicker, especially at 13 life. They didn't attack with this either. Do I want to attack? Oh, sorry. Do I want to Thoughtseize? Probably not. It doesn't change the clock, actually. We're already below 2 swings, so we might as well Thoughtseize here. Okay. Oh, okay. We need a green source off the top to get there, or something else. We need them not to play a second threat here either. They got no cards in hand? Wow. Alright. So a mana off the top. Green mana. Oh, that's so good. Yes. And we're just doing this now. Yeah, they're Brainstorm locked. We might as well play around Wasteland as well. Even Days. We could play this Depths as well, but I think what we want to do here is probably get rid of the green source, because that takes away Submerge as well. 1, 2, 3. Crop this away. Stage. Copy this. Get this version. I could have also played the other Depths if I wanted to. I think that was actually probably correct, but you never know. Ah, yikes. Tough. That's what you gotta play into though. So, props to my opponent. Yeah, sadly, there wasn't really a game one, but that is fine. That was my choice. Here we have double scrying, but we already have the combo. Honestly, here we do have turn 1 scrying into Urborg, turn 2 Thoughtseize, turn 3 combo, which I don't mind. Delta. Okay. All right. Delver. Bubble's quite nice to see because it kind of takes away my thoughts of them being on something like Show and Tell. Needle? I was going to say Needle's the best draw. Needle is by far the best draw. Because now we get to Thoughtseize first, and then potentially play Needle and Wasteland. They're going to force it pitching Days. We're going to play Needle here. And name Wasteland. They could force there as well just to get a big Murktide. Hey Jerry, good to catch you as well. Always a pleasure. Does Petal change anything? Potentially. We get to keep the Sylvan Scrying. Actually, yeah, the Petal allows us to scrying for a Sejiri Steppe. Also bluffs Crop Rot, correct. The DRC here also has to attack. And just in case they are a Jeskai deck, I don't want to play into Prismatic Ending, so I'm happy to take the 3 there. Delve is fine. The force could have also been because they have Petty Theft in hand, but here... Huh. There's no point Thoughtseizing first, we might as well attack first. Why let us untap? Thoughtseize them. Take the bolt. Play the bog. Yeah, don't get the slow play on the borrower. I think next turn we're definitely Sylvan Scrying for Dark Depths. Just because it turns on both. Wow. Okay. We still know about the days as well, so let's play around that a little bit. They probably daze here just to get triggers. I could see that. No. Go for depths, play depths, and then we just need a green source off the top or a Hexmage. Taking 3 to 10. Wasteline's fine. Then we have another 3 coming with the Brazen. The daze is actually relevant here because it means... that if we try to crop... Yeah, they just have us. We take 6, we take 6. If they daze the crop... Oh, they're just going to daze this. Interesting. Oh, they're going to play this. Okay. I would love for them to daze it. Yes, because if they kept the daze for the crop, we're on 4 mana in total, or stage and 3 mana, 2 to activate, 1 to crop, which means that if they daze the crop, we can't activate the same turn. So this is actually really good. Unless they hit. That doesn't matter because it's instant already. But it's really tough because I think we just take lethal and then we take 6, go to 4, and then we get to block 1. Okay, maybe if the Delver doesn't flip. There we go. I guess we just name Bauble. Because that actually puts it in the graveyard, which could make these DRCs bigger. But there's the flip. So we take 3, 6, 8. We can block 1, but then we just take lethal. So we might as well at least see if they're splashing for another color. Green. We knew about the trop anyway. That makes sense, yeah. Okay. This is always an interesting one. Needle's obviously great. The Karakas can come out. Not of this world is interesting, but potentially Bitter Blossom is kind of cool. Hey Adam, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. I could see a cut in Hand Disruption, but Hand Disruption is just so good, especially on the play. Potentially these. It does have reach though, so that's actually kind of nice. I think the free mana is nice because it allows us to play around days quite well. The Hand Disruption is also nice because it allows us just to know how to play out each turn. Maybe it's just a knot, but maybe that's too risky. No, maybe 2's fine. I think 2 is going to be good because Veil also allows us to save it from Brazen Burrower, potentially a Submerge if we have the one forest out. We have mana, but not a whole lot else in this hand. So I'm probably pretty happy to mulligan this. We do have like Thoughtseize them and then potentially even Needle the same turn to turn off Wasteland. But then we're just not really doing a whole lot, and I'm definitely not playing out the Hexmage without access to Dark Depths, so. Okay, we do have crop rotation. Spirit Guide, we have Veil. We don't have the combo, but going to 5 against Delve is pretty rough. We do have Urborg, which is kind of a piece of the combo. But obviously not great. I wonder if Rug even plays a basic these days, because Ghost Quarter could just be Strip Mine in this case. I mean, if I'm keeping this, what's the drop? That's also a big question. Ghost Quarter is kind of the antidote to Wasteland here, because we can Ghost Quarter the Wasteland and then make them react. So actually, I don't mind keeping this, dropping the Urborg and going from here with turn 1 Inquisition. But we'll see. They brought in Meltdown, which is really easy. We probably care about the Surgical here more than anything, just because if the first Dark Depths goes, then that's it. They do have double Volk and a Ponder. I believe Veil does not stop this at all, because it's choose target card in a graveyard, not target player, and then search for its owner's graveyard, not target player. So I think it actually is just Surgical. Just nice to have that kind of offline. Volk Ponder. Sadly not. I've used all my leave this year for both Japan and Canada, but hopefully Bologna, potentially next year. Okay, interesting. They chose to not shuffle their library, just because currently we don't have a great answer to Wasteland. I'm just going to play the Forest here and go. Not too sure what season yet, but hopefully one soon. Urborg's interesting. Questing Druid. Okay. DRC and Questing Druid. Two pretty good cards. DRC. Ponder. Yeah, I really like this card. It's very cool. Bottom and Unholy Heat. I mean, we're also so close to destroying into the 4-mana tutor. Ikoria. Which is pretty dope. Double crop. Okay. Now might be the time to go for it. The only issue here is that we don't have access to triple green, so we can't crop, and Veil. So honestly, I think this might be over 2 turns. Seeing how they... actually, we'll see how they use their mana. If they cast the Cresting Druid and something else, then they're tapped out, of course. So here, most likely is Questing. They're going to attack first. Okay. Oh, another DRC? Okay, now's the time. Crop this away. Oh, they're going to try to force. Nice. So let's allow the triggers. They now only have one card left. Can you imagine if we veiled into another spirit guide? That'd be sweet. Now we have some interesting decisions because we can either get Dark Depths, which turns on Hexmage as well, or we can go for Stage, which we can also just turn into a basic, so it can't be Wastelanded currently. I think we just go for Stage. But if we go for Dark Depths and then draw into Hexmage, we also have Crop open. So I think the play here is actually just Dark Depths. And remove an ice counter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You gotta love it. You gotta love it when you're rewarded. Because it was so close to go there for Stage, but I think the payoff is obviously in this case going for this. Do we want to have a little go at hitting the trop? I would actually, yeah, I would like to see if they have a basic or not. They have an island, wow, okay. That also means we can't play around days on something, which is actually a big thing here. I think that's actually incorrect just to throw away the Ghost Quarter like that. I didn't think of days. I should also obviously play around Wasteland right now before they actually do anything. Sorry, I totally used the Ghost Quarter because I was going to upkeep use Hexmage. Alright, they still have these cards, correct? Well, they even had the Petty Theft as the third card. People love Petty Theft tonight. They brought in Grafdigger's Cage, interesting. I'm just going to get rid of the this. Yes. Yes, my Delver friend. Pro blue. Eat it. You can't hold them back. There is nothing better. There is nothing better. Alright. Sideboard. I think just because the Brazen Burrow will go with the extra nut. Bitter Blossom's an interesting one. I think it's worth it, but it's a little bit meh. I think Boseiju just as a green source is still worth it. Bitter Blossom's also quite nice because we did see Surgical. So we do want other ways to win. So I think we might just drop a Thoughtseize or two. Yeah. I don't think just members needed, but you never know. Okay, we have the combo here. We have Bitter Blossom as well, potentially. We also have Protection. Pretty happy to keep this. We don't have a great play against Wasteland, but I think that's going to be okay. Bauble means no DRC in the opening, which is great. Potentially either just a Delver or a... Oh, wow, nothing. Okay. Urborg. Wow, that's actually really nice as well. I actually, in this case, I don't mind just playing out the Bitter Blossom. Make them have the days. Force of Negation, okay. Easy. There goes Murktide. Okay. I will play Stage this turn and then pass. And then hopefully Depth next turn. I feel like this is a questing. Yeah. What do they hit? Oh, Wasteland's pretty good here. They might even play the Wasteland defensively though. They keep on top. Gonna go after it now? Do they run Boseiju? Stifle? What is it? Can they be double nutted this world? Surgical's fine. That's 2 cards. Now they only have 2 cards left. Winner, winner. I guess they could have also had Boseiju. Yeah, really interesting line. Maybe if they had like surely you could play a second Wasteland and then Wasteland first, but giving us the ability to go off is really interesting. Down to one card. Maybe they want to block with a Murktide? No? I'll play this. So we have Veil open as well. Seek the Beast. Nice. Right. Very cool. Yeah, tough. I think maybe just a little bit of a slight mishap with that Wasteland there. Because honestly, if we draw a Veil there and they have a DRC online, we're not really doing a whole lot. Got to try to draw it into either Ghost Quarter, Crop Rotation, Needle to get rid of the Wasteland. I guess if we drew into a second piece of the combo, we could also use our stage to copy their Wasteland and then see if they do anything, then untap, potentially then Wasteland, their Wasteland, depending on what land we draw. Yeah, usually in that situation, if they're going to Wasteland you at like sorcery speed, main phase 1, they're going to have some sort of bounce spell. But it's also tough because you have to attack with the DRC, so you might as well try to do it second main, just in case they make the 2020 and it survives, and then you lose your DRC as well. I think this is a bit of an awkward hand, obviously, but obviously, like, yeah, like Urborg in this hand would be pretty sweet, but otherwise it just doesn't really have a plan, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Again, just a bit of an awkward one. Like both pieces of like one half of the combo. Okay, this is pretty good. Pretty happy to keep this. What are we putting back? We're probably putting back these two. And then if we keep this 5, we have access to turn 2 Hexmage and then the Spirit Guide for something like Crop or Veil. Ooh, Swamp Pass. Veil up the top would be really nice. Okay, Scrying. I do want to play somewhat around Opposition Agent. The question is, do I want to play out the Hexmage or not? Like if they go Ritual Opposition, turns off Scrying, untap, kill the Hexmage, then it also turns off the Scrying, which means we don't have a great way to then get the combo back online. But if I play the Hexmage into a Swamp, Fatal Push, Dismember, can't be snuffed out, but I think I'm okay to just pass here. Oh, it could also be... Okay, Troll's fine. Interesting. Okay. Play Hex. Play Dark Depths. What is the last seen deck? Oh wow, this is our Esper Vial. This is very cool. It's cool to see this deck get a bit more play. It did fall out of favor a bit, especially because of the amount of time it takes to play it, but that is very cool to see. I think we just want to upkeep the depths to play around Wasteland. I guess if we want to, so we also have Sylvan Scrying for Ghost Quarter to also get around that, which I don't mind. So actually I'm just going to play this out. Double Swamp doesn't necessarily give away that. Okay. So they're going to target the Hexmage. So then we will sack. Karakas potentially? Okay. That's fair. Well, if we want to go off, I guess we do have Not of This World. We don't have to go for Dark for You're welcome, Robert, your mother. Hope you have a great week ahead. I could just hold the Scrying here, but I kind of want to be active. But obviously, the more information I get, like if I draw a stage, I obviously want to go for depths. If I draw a Hexmage, I can't actually cast it. I think here we will actually just go for stage. It makes sense though to go for Dark Depths because both stage and Hexmage are online, and I guess also Zoroth, but something's just pulling me towards stage. I think not having double black for Hexmage is why I didn't go for depths. Also, if they are a like Shieldred deck, we do have stage Karakas to then put that back in the hand. Also, one note is that because we sacrificed the Hexmage before Bowmaster's ability resolve, they don't get the token. Well, that's pretty nice. I think we know what we're going to name with this. I also think if they don't play an Urborg, I'm going to use one Spirit Guide here to turn stage into a swamp, so that if we draw into Hexmage, we just have a 2/1 first strike. That keeps the board at bay. They don't attack with the opposition agent. That's really interesting. What are they playing around? Maybe my own Orc? They're Shieldred, which is a bit of an issue because of the Karakas being turned off. Now it's Dark Depths or bust. Even gaining 2 life is pretty huge. This is always going to be a challenging matchup when you have main deck Opposition Agent as well. But it does only turn off 10 or so cards. I guess I could have also played the Spirit Guide. I think that was correct just to play it out as a 2-2. Because it does change the clock. Yeah. Okay. So this is most likely a Dismember / Bitter Blossom matchup. They do have agents, which are annoying. Not of This World can probably come out. Like, they do have Karakas, but we do have Needles. Bog is probably relevant. I assume they're playing some amount of Reanimate. Boseiju most likely in case of something weird. Could take out the Inquisitions. I think that's fair. Bitter Blossom pretty sweet. Safekeeper not so much with Orcish Bowmaster. I think another budget option is potentially mono black for this deck. Because you can play like Grim Discovery. Grim Discovery is a very cool card. So Grim Discovery is a 1 and a black sorcery. Choose one or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return target land card from your graveyard to your hand. So you can return both Dark Depths and Hexmage. And this is pretty sweet. We're going to keep this. We're just going to go Urborg into Depths with Hexmage. And then we have Bitter Blossom as a backup if needed. Opponent's gone to 6 cards. I don't know if anyone in chat does this as well, but I really like also just like setting out your hand how you're going to cast it. So like we have Urborg into Dark Depths into Hexmage. If that doesn't work, we have Bitter Blossom with like Dismember backup. Okay. This isn't too bad either, because if they take the Hexmage, we still have the Bitter Blossom. From left to right? Oh, nice. Okay. That's cool. Oh, I think I'm happy to allow them to have this. Still happy to play this because this just turns on so many things. And if they want to like reanimate Grief here, we just have Dismember for it. Like that's exactly why. I don't want to play it just because of Karakas. If they have Sheoldred's Edict, they have Sheoldred's Edict. But we have to fight through it anyway. Wow, they allow us to untap. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is a first. I'll allow it. Now we just want to go Dark Depths again into stage. That's pretty funny. Like being able to play for the Dismember. Nice. Okay. I don't think anything really changes. The only small awkward thing is Needle on Karakas. Just because we also kind of want Karakas for their Sheoldreds, but we do have Dismembers, so I think that's okay. I think we're just going to run this back. We don't have black mana. Hand's pretty sweet, but no black mana is probably why we're mulliganing this. No green mana, but it's not the worst. Like, we do have Needle. Needle can always go on Helm. Yeah, especially if they're playing that sort of build. We haven't seen it yet though. That's the only thing. It's just not doing a whole lot, hey. Yeah, let's go to 5. Okay. We'll keep this. Probably 1 Needle, 1 Hexmage. Okay, let's see what they have first. Like, okay. Ritual's a little bit annoying, but not the worst. They do have Troll as well to get a mana. I guess we could also take the Ritual and then Needle on Troll. Okay, I don't mind that. A little bit juicy, but we're looking to name Troll of Khazad-dûm. And let's see if they draw a land or not. Oh, they did. Okay. That's fair. Okay. In this case, let's go exile Scrying and find depth. This turns on stage, this turns on Hexmage. Play it now just to get a bit more off the Orc, which is interesting as well. I guess they know that, like, if we have a Hexmage, one of their only targets, we can just sack it to the Dark Depths. Getting close. This is just worth it to dismember. Ah. Sorry. All right, 1 draw step. Ah, okay. Oh, winner! Do we play around anything? Honestly, I think we just make it here. I don't think there's anything to play around. If they have Karakas, they have Karakas. If they have like an Edict effect, it's instant speed anyway. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. You played to win it. So there we go. We got there. 3-1. Very nice. Let's finish this off with a 4-1. That'd be very cool. The consistency of the deck definitely performs really nicely here. Alright, on the play. Hexmage, nice. Okay, so here we have... yeah, I think Marsh into Thoughtseize. And then go from there. We don't get the turn 2 Hexmage unless we go Petal into Thoughtseize into draw exactly either Crop Rotation or Urborg, and then play Dark Depths. Opponent's got 6 cards. I think I'm happy to take it a little bit slower. Potentially just Blooming Marsh Thoughtseize into Bojuka Bog, play Petal, just hold up Petal, and then Hexmage into Dark Depths. Alright, we're up against a probably Delver deck. I think we just take the Force here. They have double Brainstorm anyway. Well, there's the crop. Okay. Okay. I mean, even if at worst case they draw a Force here, we just have play Bog Pass, which makes the Murktide also slower, and then we just play Hexmage the following turn. This is a really interesting play because now this means they can't have Brazen Borrower next turn, which means we just go for it here, and then they have to have like Vapor Snag. What's the play here? Surely they just don't have Karakas. Like, you can daze there to turn off protection for Brazen Borrower, but if you daze, you can't cast Brazen Borrower. Interesting. All right, Delver. Bitter Blossom we like. The Karakas we can take. The Knots is still relevant-ish, but I don't mind dropping 1 and just sticking with this. Dismember don't really care about either. But hey, a big thank you to all of you for coming in and watching. I very much appreciate it. If you like this content, you can find me obviously here every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Sorry, 8:30 p.m. Australian Standard Time, and usually Sunday mornings, but of course today is a Sunday evening. This time next week, myself and Crucible of Words, who is a legacy YouTuber who plays a lot of depths, will be co-streaming Turbo Depths, so definitely tune in for that. You can find me here on YouTube, Twitter, and of course you can join my Discord. It's free. It's a cool community. I like it. But yeah, it's pretty nice to be... I don't think like we've missed fetches or Bayou tonight, which is really nice. Like, Blooming Marsh has been doing exactly what we kind of want, which is always pretty sweet. Okay, we have Depths, we have Hexmage, we also have Crop Rotation for protection. We also just have like Petal turn 1 to always play around days. Baubles for days. Not of this world would be an excellent draw. Another crop isn't too bad either. I think next turn I'm happy just to play the Ghost Quarter and pass. The following turn play Dark Depths. Maybe not, maybe the Swamp. Just because I want to be able to play the Hexmage around days, but also have access to crop rotation. I could crop rot Urborg, but I think I might just be a little bit too quick unless we find... It's pretty interesting. We're down to 5 cards. I kind of like playing it towards having both crop open, but we could also... Yeah, I think next turn I'm happy to. Next turn probably turn the Swamp into Urborg. Oh, sorry, on their end step, I guess. Invasion is spice. Especially 8/8 reach against Delver. Yes, please. Okay. They drop a Ponder, so they're obviously looking for action and also just to turn on this DRC. Hey Rengetti, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Honestly, the deck's been pretty solid. There are times I wish I kind of had some sort of card advantage engine in the deck, but you can't have everything. I don't want to cast the Invasion just because it's a card I don't really care about. I'd love to get forced, but it's also just very good once it's in play. One more Petal or Spirit Guide would be so good. Playing the Beanstalk. Interesting. Maybe I should have known that anyway. Hey, don't be sorry at all. The only reason for not scrying is that I like having up double green for double crop in case they want to wasteland in response to the first one, or potentially wasteland after a crop. Double waste. Okay. Honestly, with 4 cards in hand, 5 cards after the Ponder, I'm pretty happy here to Blooming Marsh, use Crop to get rid of the Swamp. Get a Urborg and then turn on the Dark Depths. Wow. Wow, I didn't expect that to come down. This has to attack as well, which is fantastic for us. I guess they could try to Murktide first. Maybe they played the extra land just to like hold up hard cast the merge. Oh, it's cast? Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. Nice, we actually got it done on stream, which is very cool. I tapped off one wasteland. Very cool interaction. I mean, like, it does run into Karakas, but I think in this sort of matchup, it's fantastic when they have the Wastelands. I was a little bit worried that in response to us sacrificing the Hexmage to target the invasion, they might bounce the invasion. But then we just get it back anyway. But they could have done like bounce off 2 lands and then like triple wasteland us. Probably just leaving us Ghost Quarter, which I think would have been game for sure. The only thing I kind of like is potentially another, like an Ancient Tomb effect in the deck. I don't want to run Yavimaya just because of Submerge, but potentially the mana could work with a few more sources, like maybe even like City of Brass. I do like having one of each basic, but I could just say, hey, if they have Blood Moon, they have Blood Moon, and instead they should be like cities. Or even Gemstone Mines. Probably not tapping them for more than 3 mana. Alright, they chose not to shuffle. Spirit Guide. Ooh, 1, 2. Okay. Definitely attack first. They have 5 cards. What if we go... What if we cast... No. Ah, so close. We could nearly cast Hexmage. I was thinking like, cast Hexmage in response they wasteland the Dark Depths. We tap it for black, we Ghost Quarter the other wasteland, they then wasteland something else. We then use Spirit Guide to get 2 mana in the pool, which is enough to crop rotate for stage, but then we are 1 short anyway. Honestly, I don't mind. I think in this case, honestly, I really like just going for Urborg and turning off Bojuka Bog and turning off Murktide. Like now they're at 10. We have crop open if we really want to use it. Like even if they have Submerge, we do have crop rotation off Spirit Guide for Sejiri Steppe to give pro. Also, just a little tip, the nice thing about this is that it's legendary. So what you can do if you're in a position where you want something like Collect Oof postboard, you can crop for Karakas, return this to hand, recast it, and then just go and get Collect Oof as your 2-drop instead of Hexmage, because you can get non-human creature with mana value X or less. So actually you can't get Safekeeper, but you can get Collect Oof, because Safekeeper is a human, Collect Oof is not. Wow, 4 wastelands. This is very cool to see. Do we care about this? Probably not. I'll tap this for mana. Okay. 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 That's fair. Ooh. They play alone, but all their wastelands are now in exile, so they do block, but we don't have to deal the damage to Hooting Mandrills, which is interesting. Okay. So now they need land, Brazen Burrower, Force. What have we played against tonight? I feel like it's been Rug twice. We went down to Shadow. Shadow, Rug ×2, Initiative, Mono Black, thank you. Very cool. All right, let's see. One mana floating. Oh, you love to see it. Pro blue. Nice. Nice. All right, that's pretty cool. A nice little 4-1. With honestly some really nice returns against Delver as well. So that was Mono Black was the... Initiative was the 2-0. Mono Black was 2-1. Rug was 2-1, 2-1. And then a loss was 1-2. Nice. Honestly, deck was pretty cool. Like, I think the Veils are probably where you could add more hand disruption and then have the Veils as a sideboard card. Just hard to know what to bring in for that. The mana wasn't too bad either. The consistency of the combo was really nice. I feel like when we played towards just drawing into the combo, we drew into it pretty well. So that was always pretty sweet. Marshes were great. So pretty happy to see those. Yeah, honestly, just happy with how the deck performed. Always tough, like the first game against Shadow, which is a bit like just a concession, but a game 3 would have been really cool to see, or an actual sort of game 1, but that is magic sometimes. But hey, hope you enjoyed this. Very cool there. Oh, they can't have the Force because of the fetch. Kate 2, very nice pick up there. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, a big thank you for coming in and watching. Of course, if you like this content, you can definitely follow the channel here or on YouTube. You can find all my socials below. I'm gonna see who else is streaming and if there's any other legacy streamers. But yeah, I'll be back on Thursday night, if not before then. But yeah, a big thank you once again. And let's see who is streaming, if anyone. Modern, a lot of modern, no legacy, wow. Okay, look, I'm going to send you guys to Trello, who seems to be a smaller streamer, but thank you once again, very cool to get the 4-0, or the 4-1, sorry, and yeah, have a great week, see you next time.